Welcome to Bistro Perpetua. Today we are making tarte tatin. And here we have Chef Michael and Sarah and...
Oh, welcome, Monsieur MC.
Oui, c'est très bon. Tarte tatin.
See? Oh, that's Spanish. Sorry.
You're speaking as
Yes.
we or C.
So now we'd like to go ahead and introduce to you today our magnificent chef, Michael Insere. Is that how we pronounce it?
Insera. Roll
Okay.
the R's.
Oh,
Roll the
good.
R's. Insera.
And thank you so much for doing this today, by the way. We'd like you to take us through the magnificent recipe that you have for us today.
All right. Thank you, Pat. It's great to be here. Octovid Fest 2020. A little different spin on what we've done in the past. Today, I'm going to be making for you a classic French tarte tatin. It's actually going to be a caramelized peach tarte tatin. A tarte tatin is a classic stone fruit or pears, apples, whatever you like to use, whatever's in season. And we're basically going to caramelize them. We're going to use a beautiful puff pastry to get a golden crust. It's an upside down cake, and so there's a really fancy finish at the end when we pull it on, when we pull it out of the oven. So stick around for that.
Looking forward to it. Thanks so much. Do you have everything you need? You ready to go?
We have all of our prep, which is called our mise en place, which in French is everything in its place. Mise en place, and we are ready to go.
Oui, oui.
Oui, oui.
We'll be right back.
Now you may be wondering the mysterious recipe behind this magnificent piece we're about to take you on. So Mike is going to take you through the ingredients so that way you can make this at home. Are you ready, Mike?
I am ready to roll, Pat.
Okay.
So first thing I'm going to do is walk you guys through all the ingredients. It's a very basic recipe. You don't need a lot. So this again is a caramelized peach tarte tatin. And of course we have to have sugar, and we have to have water and butter, because those are the ingredients that create caramel. I'm going to have a pinch of salt and a pinch of and a little bit of lemon juice for the acidity and the balance at the end. Of course, we need a great puff pastry. There are two types of puff pastry: the cheap kind and the expensive kind. The cheap kind you can find at Safeway and anywhere else, which is basically Pepperidge Farm. I recommend splurging and trying to get a great classic French all butter puff pastry, such as Dufour. Okay, these are wonderful, and the investment is going to pay off when you eat your tarte tatin at the end. You're going to also need peaches, so I would recommend 3 to 4 peaches, or whatever fruit is your favorite, stone fruit. Yellow peaches are my favorite, and then you're going to need your ingredients, including everything measured out: 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of water, 1/3 cup of sugar. You've got your salt. Got a little bit of lemon juice right here. A couple other key ingredients. The type of pan that you choose is ultimately very important. You want a heavy bottom skillet or a cast iron pan, 8 to 10 inches wide. It definitely should have a metal handle, either way, because you're going to stick this in the oven and cook it at 400. You're going to pull it out. No plastic handles, that won't work for us. I particularly love a nice, well-seasoned cast iron pan. That's what I'm going to be using. And your knives, 2 knives alone. You need a paring knife and a nice chef's knife. That's it. Let's see. What else do we have here? That's it.
Is that it?
Heat the oven to 400, 20 to 23 minutes of cooking. Make sure you have some vanilla ice cream or creme fraiche at the end.
Now you have everything you need to be ready to put this together. The next step, make it happen.
And don't be intimidated. It's an easy dish to make.
Totally easy. We'll be back.
Voila.
Now we're back to our regular programming, but before we do that, we want to have a special announcement. As you know, we're in the midst of a pandemic, so we're always wearing our masks, and especially during this time of year, which is Halloween.
Bonjour, ça va? Comment ça va?
All right, now we're ready. Don't wear the mask while you're cooking, by the way. It could create a little difficulty saying. So we're ready for action.
All right, Pat and audience, I'm going to take you through the steps right now in the action phase of what we're doing. So first we're going to turn our oven, our stove on, and we're going to basically have it on medium heat. And we're going to put our pan of choice. Basically, we're going to start the caramelization process, okay? So that means it's real simple. We're going to start with our sugar, 1/3 cup of sugar.
1/3 cup of sugar.
We're just pouring it right in the pan. and then we're taking our 2 tablespoons of water.
2 tablespoons of water.
This is your classic way of making caramel, okay? Now, the thing about doing this is you do not want to stir this.
This is shaken, not stirred.
Like a good martini, it should be shaken, not whipped. You don't use a whip on it. You basically want to watch it, and there's going to come a point where it's going to melt. And when it does, it's going to start to caramelize. So right now, the basic thing you can do is you can just lightly just move it around a little bit, okay?
So you want to whip it.
And it's going to turn a nice brown color, and it's going to start to smoke a little bit. And at that point is when it starts to caramelize, and then we're going to put our butter in and start to create the final dish. Now this can take a little bit of while, maybe up to 6 minutes. So if you stir it, it's going to take a lot longer for the sugar to actually caramelize. So don't be tempted. Basically, you can just move it around a little bit, and you can see it starts to bubble up, but it's all still very white, okay? It's going to start to turn color. Now, in the meantime, what I want to show you is when you're taking your peaches, I already have them sliced here, you should average about 6 slices per peach. Basically, any of your stone fruit, you're going to open it up, you're going to cut it once on the side, and you've got your pit. So in this case, just scoop out our pit. Okay, we're watching our caramel.
Can you get a shot of the caramel?
2. And these are your pieces, nice and simple. And again, we're just going to give this a nice little roll, but we're not going to stir it. So this is what you're going to do with your peaches, and then this is your finished product right here. And then we're going to layer those in when we get to that point. So those are for your fruit. Now we're getting close, not quite there yet.
Be very careful with these knives, by the way. Safety?
Well, these are super sharp knives, and
Yes.
what I do is every couple of Saturdays, I take them over to Lenardi's parking lot. Up till 4 o'clock, they have an old-fashioned knife sharpener there, and he will take care of all of your knives for you. Sharp knives are a blessing to any chef. As you can see, we're starting to get a little bit of brown, okay? This is the actual caramelization process. Just turning a little bit of color, but it's going to get wicked brown. It's going to really turn nice. And it's going to just sort of basically start smoking and all turn into liquid when it gets to that point, okay? So we're very close. You can see the crystals. Again, not a whole lot you can do here. Just going to let that go. Okay? And Kelly, I just wanted to show you guys that I switched pans to this heavy frying pan just because it's easier to show you how it moves around and that you're not stirring it, okay? So I just went to a more non-stick pan to make this an easier process. Our butter, we start to stir in our butter. Oh, I can smell that butter, just beautiful. Add lemon juice, and a pinch of salt. Okay, that's just so we can combine the acid, get a little flavor in there. Turning this down just a touch. You can see how it's given a nice golden color, and that golden color is going to cook down into a nice brown. Okay, so now you can see that our sugar mixture is starting to caramelize. You see the beautiful brown golden color on the outside? That is where we're getting the caramelization. As I said, it can take up to 6 minutes of just stirring it to get this beautiful color. But now that we have that color, and you want to be really careful because when you're making caramel, you do not want to splash this. If it gets on your skin, it will burn it very quickly. So it is a word of warning. That's why we just stir like this. We never want to get it on us or touch a finger in there. So now we're going to go cut side up. We're going to just start to layer our fruit in the dish side by side, and we're going to make a layer all the way around, what I like to call either a rosette or a fan color. Okay? Now we want to really layer these in because they're going to shrink. So you don't want to worry about having too many, okay? We're going to let those cook on low heat just for a couple of minutes until the peaches get nice and warm. And in the meantime, this is now a very, very heavy dish with all of the ingredients in. I need a special helper to move over. Oh, look who's here. The French Superman. All right, Superman, can you bring over? Very heavy, be careful. Actually, no, you're just going to saute that for a second. Okay. Come with me. Now we need to get to our puff pastry, okay? So with our puff pastry, we want to put a little bit of flour on your puff pastry and a little bit on your rolling pin, and we're very simply going to roll out our puff pastry, okay? And look at this. And then again, frozen puff pastry, you want to make sure it's thawed for a couple of hours before you use it. And you're just going to gently roll it out like this, which is nice, okay? And then you can do this little trick where you roll it on. Superman, can you bring that over here, please?
Yes.
Lay her down, and then basically we are going to roll it right over our pastry, and then you're just going to tuck the pastry into the corners, okay? Cover it up nicely. Okay. And we have, stay here. Very key, you have to poke holes in the puff pastry because it is going to release steam as it's cooking. So you just want to use a knife and you just want to poke a bunch of little holes.
That's a great idea.
Okay, that's
if you
real.
don't do it, what's going to happen?
Too much steam, it'll be really wet and moist inside, and it won't golden up and brown the way that you want it to, okay?
No way.
And I'm actually going to take a little extra pastry that I have here, because I really like the puff pastry. We're going to make sure that we have enough filling the sides here.
And if you're wondering how I got abs like this, it is eating this.
Absolutely.
This really is breakfast champion.
And remember, the secret of great French cooking and most cooking, 2 ingredients. Number 1, butter, okay? And number 2, Superman, more butter. More butter. Okay, Superman, with all your might, let's get this thing into the 400-degree oven. Hill rack, please. Center back. Right there.
We're going to turn it to the side.
From the side.
Turn to the side.
Remember, we're at 400 degrees.
400.
Well, maybe we got to do that. Now, we need 20 to 23 minutes.
Okay.
We're going to start it right there at 22 minutes, and then we're going to come and check it. Voila. Wish us luck.
Now, when you can't cook, the way you go ahead and contribute to the cause is through cleanup. Now, this is a super cleanup. First of all, see this? That is joy. There's no joy in doing dishes, but sometimes you gotta contribute. What you wanna do is make sure you get this lathered up really nice. This you usually wash your car with, but when I'm using it today, I didn't wash the car with, by the way. It just makes it more efficient. So what you're gonna do, you get this wet, and then get all the cooties off of it. That way, the next time you make something, you're gonna be all set. I am so happy to be a supporter of our friend Mike here, and we're so lucky to have him in our French brasserie. I'm growing my mustache, can you see it? It's coming in slowly, but I'm gonna have to add some more vitamins to get us there. But now, we're ready for the big finale. It has been
Oh, c'est magnifique, c'est magnifique, très bien.
Are we ready?
All right, Superman, the caramelized peach tart tatin is ready to be moved.
Here we go.
Careful, heat, and heavy.
Okay, so put it down right here.
Correct. Now you can see our golden, flaky, beautiful flaky crust, okay? Now, the interesting thing here is this is an upside down cake. So what we're gonna have to do is invert this, all right? And we're gonna basically turn it over. So you wanna find maybe your serving platter. We've got a beautiful little rosette serving platter here. This is going to be very hot, okay?
Very hot.
Typically we would wait maybe a couple of minutes, but we're going to just give this a go, okay? Now, you're going to basically flip this upside down. It's hot, it's a little bit heavy, but basically, voila, okay? Now, I hope it's ready. We're going to see. The big voila moment. 1, 2, 3. Oh! A peach tart tatin. Pretty fancy, eh? So this now is our finished product. And you definitely want to serve this with ice cream or creme fraiche. And so we are going to have a little treat here for you guys in just a moment.
And what we have, thanks to Mike, he's the king of the kitchen. On behalf of St. Perpetua, we are not worthy. Thank you so much.
First handshake in 7 months. I think it's worth it. We washed our hands.
Yes, I don't have, Superman doesn't get photos.
Superman, merci beaucoup for your help.